Hi everybody, it's me, Miss Jessica Lahore, and we're back with another Jess Talk. And today we are talking all about drag and traveling, meshing them together and giving you all of Lahore's tips, tricks, and secrets. But before we get into this episode, make sure that you've subscribed to my YouTube channel by hitting the bell for notifications and not missing out on any Lahore content. We're also streaming on all platforms, iTunes, Spotify, you know the gist. Alright everybody, drag and traveling, let's get into it.
Attention Lahore, attention Lahore, attention Lahore, attention. Here I am walking down the street, seeing all the boys trying to take a peek. Shorts pulled up and chest out right. Come on boys, just take a bite. Look but don't touch, spin it round and round. Crazy top.
Alright everybody, drag and traveling. I have a lot of experience in this realm, and so I wanted to share some of my tips and tricks, some of the things that I do, some fun traveling stories in drag, and maybe I can help you if you're preparing to travel to your first out-of-state gig, or I guess even out of town, but I'm talking more out of state. So, okay, where do I start? Where do I begin? I've traveled all over the country. I've been very thankful to go through periods of my career where I've been asked and flown out to perform at places, and also I did little mini tours where I try to hit up multiple hot spots or cities in the same area, and I've learned a lot of things over those many years, and I think that they've worked really well. So, I don't even know where to begin, but I'm going to just throw out some things. I'm going to tell you right now, all of my opinions about what I do are completely yours to take with a grain of salt. Every bitch is going to do things differently or have their methods of traveling with drag. For me, it starts with Southwest Airlines. I am such a little brat about my Southwest Airlines. They always, and I know some people have different experiences. I'm not saying I've had the most amazing every time. Southwest Airlines, I like it because you get 2 free bags. And most of the time when you travel with drag, if it's over a certain amount or it doesn't matter how much it weighs, you have to pay extra for those bags. So I like that it's included to begin with. Plus you get a carry-on and a personal item. You can travel with like 200 pounds of luggage if you pack correctly, okay? And they take care of all of that. So that's the first thing. I'm kind of a little snobby when it comes to the airline. I'll fly on anything. Don't get it twisted. I will fly any plane that you want to bring me out on. But if I have a choice or a preference, it's Southwest simply for that. Plus you get snacks. They have priority check-in and help. Their customer service is really top notch. So not that I'm trying to get sponsored, hey Southwest, but I really mean it when it comes to drag and traveling, especially if you're a bitch that wears a lot of big costumes. Go with Southwest. Get those 2 free bags. What else can I say about traveling in drag? If you ever wondered if you could get in makeup and go through security, I have gone through full airport security and more in full mug, okay? So I've never had any issues, and my justification is this. Of all the places for any Karen or MAGA Republican to make a fuss about a drag queen being at an airport, even in makeup, there's so much security there. Those bitches will get dragged out. They don't have any weapons. You can't get into the airport with weapons. They will get dragged the fuck out. They will be put on a no-fly list, and you'll get to go on your merry way. So no one's going to try shit. But yeah, I've gone through it many times in makeup. I've done my makeup on the plane once. I will never do that again. It's not as seamless as you think. There's always something jiggling, and then you look like that bitch from the Airplane movie who can't get her makeup on straight. The lady next to me was also not very happy about my choice of putting makeup on next to her. So maybe some respect to powders going everywhere and shit like that. But you do what you gotta do. Many a times I've gone on, I've never gone through security in pads because I figured it might flag it and be like, you need to like take this off. It's kind of like,
You have a bomb in your pussy.
We can't say bomb here, but I got a bomb ass pussy. And so I usually will take my pads and put them on in the bathroom if I need to get right off the plane and get to the gig. Here is my biggest tip to anyone traveling in drag. If you have a carry-on option, here's what you need to put in there. Outside of whatever muggle clothes you bring with you, you as a drag artist should have your makeup in your carry-on, any tips that you make from your shows in your carry-on, your pads and padding and body if you are a body person, and you should have one easy, shake and go pussy wig that you can just easily stuff in there, okay? Why? Let's say the worst thing happens and your airline loses all of your costumes, all of your shoes, your wigs, and everything like that. You can find clothes anywhere, in any city, whether you want to go to Walmart, you go to a designer place, you can find other queens in town, you can find clothes everywhere. It is very difficult to find drag makeup or the makeup products that you're used to using at regular drugstores all the time, especially if you're not familiar with the area. So you have your makeup. Worst case is you have your makeup, you have your pads to put on so you can change your body if that's part of your drag. You have one wig, so if you can't find any other hair, you better brush that bitch out and you just make her work the entirety of the night. And oh, God forbid, you never get your tips back. Always put your tips in your carry-on. Don't leave them in your checked bag and then all of a sudden your bag's lost and all your money's lost too. Don't do it. I know many people that have been put in that situation. So that's my biggest tip with that. Makeup, money, body, one wig, carry on every time. And I guess your muggle clothes go like in a backpack for me. I would recommend if you're traveling with wigs and when you're traveling with outfits, really go through each outfit and create piles as you're packing. So this is the costume. Above it, I place the hair. I put all accessories in a box below it with the shoes. I check off outfit at a time. And why do I do it that way? Because I hate forgetting something so simple. And every trip, I manage to forget one tiny ass little thing, whether it's a highlight, a lash, a shoe. I always forget one thing. And I'm sitting on the plane like, what did I forget? And then it hits me like a fucking brick to the forehead. I'm like, I gotta figure it out now. It's that one thing, and you pack so meticulously. So lay out your outfits, make sure you see everything that you need there, and then as you're packing them, check them off. Usually one suitcase, I literally put all costume stuff, and like body parts, titties, and shit like that. And then in another one, I put shoes and accessories. And then I kind of weighed out. I'm so good at lifting a suitcase and being like, oh yeah, that's like 48 pounds. I'm good. This is 50 on the dot. I never go over at the airport anymore. Never, hand to God, never ever. I'm always prepared to transfer shit, but I'm such a good, it's like a second talent. Look at that, lifting shit and knowing how much it weighs.
I have a bit sense.
I'm perfect at it. I should go to a carnival. So lay out your outfits, pack meticulously, and then I encourage you, and it's really hard for drag entertainers to do this, when you pack, remember the order you pack things, and then when you're leaving the venue to come back home, pack them in the exact same order. That way you don't have any mess up. Now, if you're somebody that likes to party, like me on occasion, you know what? That process just goes out the fucking window and you shove it in a suitcase, you zip it up, and you hope to God it works, okay? What other tips? When you're traveling with wigs, for example, we all have big styled wigs. Go to your local grocery store or get plastic trash bags, okay? It's great when the trash bags actually have like a natural scent to them, like a lavender too. It really helps when your wig comes out. But go ahead, put your wigs individually in each of these bags, whether it's a shopping bag or a garbage bag, and lock all the air out of it, kind of roll it tight, and put one half of your suitcase, whatever suitcase setup you have, dedicated to those wigs. Don't place anything on top of your wigs. It's okay if they scrunch down in the air and whatnot. They're not going to get caught on anything. They will reclaim their shape, but that way you're not traveling with a bunch of wig heads. I think I only have one wig that I've ever done that with, and it takes up space, and it's unnecessary. So compress them, and then as soon as you get to the hotel or your destination, let them breathe, and they pop back to life. Maybe you need to take a comb to one of them, but highly recommend that's the way that you travel with wigs. I have a lucky charm. Whenever I travel, before I get on a plane and drag, I have to completely tidy up my house. I hate coming home to a messy house. I have to shower, shit, get into my comfy clothes. I'm very much about the comfy airport fit, and I put on trinkets. I have 2 rings that I wear. I have 2 bracelets that I wear, and sometimes a necklace that I'll wear, and all of them make me feel very balanced and calm when I'm going through the airport. One specifically is a manifest bracelet. It's a little trinket that I was gifted by a fan, and I wear it everywhere. But when I travel, it makes me feel significantly more comfortable, and when I don't travel with it, I do feel more anxious.
Packing the day of.
I always pack the day of. Oh my gosh, I pack the day of. I don't pack any clothes for either personality until literally about an hour to 2 hours before I have to leave. That way I know that I've used it. I hate packing something and then being like, oh, well, I needed to use that like right now. So I just wait till I do all of the things that I need to do, then I pack everything. I do recommend getting to the airport 2 hours early. You never know what time an airport in whatever location is going to be insane. And I also am a strong believer of the line may look long, but we will make it through. There's no reason to get all up in arms and all anxious and whatnot if you're about to miss your flight. If you miss your flight, one thing about Southwest that's great is let it happen. They'll rebook you and shit happens. But if you plan accordingly and everything is done, you should have no issue getting through. But causing that stress over something you can't control it's not worth it. If you know you're going to miss your flight, there's no fighting with anybody. Of course, it feels sad. You didn't mean to. It fucking sucks. They're going to help you. But working yourself up over it is not worth it. It really isn't. I'm always a window seat girl. When I travel, I need my window sweep. Window sweep is what we should call it. We need my window sweep because I only sleep what it feels like in moving vehicles. Trains, cars, buses, and planes. And as soon as I get on, I put my earbuds in. I put on, oh, that's gross. I put my earbuds in. I play some music. I put my little eye cover up, or I pull my hat over my eye. I put my hoodie up, and I lean over, and it's game over until I wake up. Very rarely do I not sleep on a plane ride, but I like my I'm such a princess. I like my little end seat. If you're traveling with drag and you have a lot of cover-ups, don't be afraid to be a little glamorous and wear that cover-up as your coat on there, because you get one personal item, you get one carry-on, but they're not going to tell you nothing about your coat. One, it doubles up as a blanket if it's cold. Really wonderful. Two, if you wanted to bring it and you couldn't put it in your suitcase, now you got away with it. I put on bras, I put on coats, I put on skirts just to get through the airport many years ago. I have become a Southwest snob, as we've admitted, and I was one flight away from getting my A-list status. And what I love about my A-list status is that I get on the plane, I get to pick my seat first 60 people that get on the plane get to pick their seat, and that's fine with me. Of course, you get priority when you get to go check your bags. They take care of you, and they have a different one. So if I'm a little bit late, I can go straight to that line. There's just perks that I really enjoy. And then you can get a companion pass and bring people. It's great. And I was one flight away, and so I decided to fly to Colorado Springs, which is like a 45-minute to an hour drive, and fly back immediately. And the funniest part is that I was delayed in Denver, and I almost missed my flight in Colorado Springs, which would have been fucking ironic and awful at the same time. So that was the weirdest flight journey that I've ever done. The weirdest thing I've ever packed is I brought Skid Mark the bear. It's this big bear that I use for Miley Cyrus number. It's huge. It's probably as big half of me. It's like a huge giant teddy bear, and I had to get 2 extra large vacuum seal bags and hand pump that bitch into a cube to travel with him. I will never do that again in my life. That was the worst decision, trying to pump after the show or before the flight. It was annoying, it was loud, it was so fucking awful, dragging that bear all over the country. I went from New York to LA, and then I was just traveling with Skid Mark the bear, and it was the worst decision ever. So be really mindful of what performances you don't need to bring or what props you can avoid bringing unless it's specially requested, because if it's a nightmare, it's not fun whatsoever.
Have they ever made you take anything out of your bag?
Yeah, they've done that with certain makeup. So another reason when I carry my makeup on, I put some of the liquid foundations and stuff in a quart bag just so that they don't flag it. They've gone through stuff for jewelry. They always flag for titties. Any body parts, silicone body parts, dildos, titties, they will flag you. So be prepared for that. I love going to the airport in drag as a non-binary transhuman, because then they get up to the little scanner and you just see the confusion in that person's face of, do I put you as male or do I put you as female? And I get tickled. They don't even ask. I love what they get to guess that day, because I'll get into the little machine, and then if they have to pat me down here, I'm like, oh, y'all thought I was a woman? Oh, I'm feeling my cunt fantasy. I must be looking real good. And then other times I'm like, oh, you You definitely thought that I had a penis, like you knew that my dick was there, for sure. But you took a 50-50 chance. I get a lot of joy from those moments. And then it's even best because when they have to pat you down, they're like, do you want a male or a female officer? I was like, I'll take whoever wants to touch me. You know, it's just like, I mean, it sounds kind of creepy when I say it out loud, but play with it. I mean, they have to do it. It's their job. Pat me down. It's been a while. Have fun. Take me to dinner. You know, all that stupid shit. I have missed my flight in drag once from getting too shit-faced in Texas, but just rescheduled it from Southwest because they like to party up in El Paso. They fucking turned me out, baby. Woo. When you're traveling in drag, I think that it's important to always have a backup USB with you. One of the things with venues, if you're not looking them up in advance or they're giving you a little bit of information, is you never know what their sound system setup is going to be like or their staging. So always having music backed up on a USB where you can literally hand it or available to send it via email on hand if it's not working is just something to prepare for. I mean, I think that's with any gig. It'd be great to always have one on hand just in case you need to use it. I guess in another way of traveling with drag, if you're not taking the plane route for whatever reason and you're driving, I've road tripped many a drag, but it's a lot easier, I would say. You get to pack pretty much whatever you want. You can stuff it into your car when you're traveling with multiple drag entertainers. I always am the one that plays Tetris. I know how to place every wig, every suitcase, and fit a dozen bitches in a tiny Honda S Civic and make it work, and we'll go to Wyoming or something like that. I love playing Tetris that way. We will make it work. I don't like driving. I'm much better passenger, but I will drive wherever I need to go. But there's a lot more flexibility with what you can bring and what you can do. I'd say it's just more exhausting of your time. Like, there's a convenience of flying because even though it's a long day, everything's essentially taken care of you if you just have to walk spot to spot to spot. And driving is awful. Driving to a gig and getting like no sleep and then having to get up and do drag is exhausting. It's not fun whatsoever. Kind of like when you're walking, like when you go to big cities like Chicago or New York and you're trying to save money on Ubers and stuff like that, and so you're walking place to place, always be mindful of how much you have to carry because sometimes you're dragging that shit for 45 minutes or an hour and then you get to the gig and you're fucking sweaty and exhausted. So really think about what things are necessary to bring with you, what you can't bring, what you have to leave behind, because many a times have I had to travel with 150 pounds of luggage, 30 to 45 minute walk to the venue because I couldn't afford an Uber. And I wish that I would have left a suitcase behind and then taken the rest, but I didn't. It was awful. Don't strain your body. Deep breaths. Don't strain. Don't stress. Yeah, I'm actually going to get to put a lot of this to practice. Traveling in drag is a lot of work, but it is a lot of fun. And when you've mastered the skills that work best for you and the routines that work best for you, it makes it completely easy. It takes a very scary idea of traveling with drag and makes it significantly easier and more calm. I'm really excited because I'm going to be doing a 50-city tour this year in 2024. So make sure that you follow me because you can see me struggle to travel in drag over and over again. Tell me down below some of the favorite places that you've traveled with your art, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
I'm an attention whore. Can't help it, bitch. I'm an attention whore.